I'm joining now.
All right, ready on the timer. Indeed. There we go. Welcome to Damnation.
This is Damnation.
This is Damnation.
Uh, this is a very terrible third-person shooter. It's very brown. It's
Yeah.
very bad.
First thing you will notice is the color palette, or really the lack of any kind of color palette. It's all just very washed out. There is a saturation value we did find that you can modify, and it gives the game actual color. That would be against the spirit of the run, showing you it in any improved way.
Yeah, it's an old-timey game. It takes place in the Civil War era, or an alternate history of the Civil War, and because it's old-timey, it means it must be brown.
Yes. Brown Town, what a player. We shouldn't give too much away about the story, which is rich.
Oh no, yeah,
cast of characters.
There's a lot of lore, so we'll go with where we are. So the opening cutscene intros with our characters riding in on motorcycles, and this area is under siege by what is called PSI forces, or Prescott Standard Industries. Him and his steampunk robot army are invading Arrowtree for reasons.
It's hard to tell. Goodbye, Froth. And
but
PSI is a very clever name, by the way, as I'm sure you're aware. Extremely clever, very funny, great name.
They did it. That's the first thing they wrote down on paper.
That was the first trick of the run that you just saw, by the way. That was some sprint management that I did to get avoiding some animations, and we're going to be battling animations for the entire run.
Find some cover while I get their attention. Rourke, over here.
You also notice that I teleported slightly earlier. Co-op is not meant to exist in this game, really.
That doesn't work. I was just testing it.
Still has a few tricks.
So this yeah, the main enemies we're going to be not fighting, more or less just kind of running past, are some of them are robots, but some are just people that have been infected with what the game is called PSI serum,
or just serum most of the time.
Or just the serum, which is a lime green kind of toxic fluid
energy drink.
That is, it's monster energy. It's what it is. So basically, Prescott has been encouraging the workers of like Industrial Revolution America to partake in drinking monster energy in order to work more efficiently or harder. But it turns out drinking too much monster energy makes you a little bit crazy. And so Prescott knew this, but he tries to make sure that you don't know this. And a lot of the enemies we're going to be facing are varying degrees of insane due to their intake of monster energy.
As Yakikan, Quaintt's player character, says, it makes you 10 times stronger and crazy as hell. That's it. That's a direct quote.
End quote.
I got a shotgun blast at the chest. If that were in close range, it would have been an insta-kill, even on casual. Slight route difference. I pick up the sniper rifle because we need it for the route. Also because this guy has to die. You went down for a second on my screen.
Yeah, I thought it looked like you went down or something.
Might have been Winslow?
Said someone went down.
It's Winslow. It's Winslow.
How did Winslow get back up then?
We probably hit a trigger.
So
we don't know everything about this game, we should say. It's impossible to know everything about Damnation. It's too weird.
There's a lot of mysteries surrounding the game itself, but the development, not all is known. There's much to unearth, and it feels like every time you launch the game, you learn something new.
Yes. Some questions that remain. Why is Yakikan's outfit what it is?
Who greenlit this?
Who greenlit Yakikan's outfit? Who do we have to blame? Oh, dang it. So you notice there, my character, even after Quaintt jumped, I could not climb farther up that pipe. Fish do poop, yes, thank you, very insightful chat. I forgot how much I should value Twitch chat's input.
Rourke, Yakikan, over here.
As long as I'm the first one through that like walkway, I get the nade,
Yes.
which is good for the next section.
So Quaintt's gonna try to clip out of bounds here. I'll train
I
the
can
camera.
remember how I did it. Oh,
And,
oh,
yep, there we go.
Oh, that's a new one.
Yep. So
I
that
got some height out of that.
that gate is not supposed to be down, but you can just kind of jump into it, and this is the first out of bounds of the run.
There's an invisible wall here that isn't normally here.
The game is never the same every time you run it. There's
Oh,
always
you
something
know,
different.
it might be thinking I'm still sort of by that gate. Or no, maybe not.
Someone just followed, I think. Thank you for the follow.
I want to just stay by this lever, because
Yeah.
the game's really confused on my positioning right now.
So I'm holding down left click here on this turret because the enemies will only run out from this one spot for this section of this very long cutscene where Zagato is telling his life story. They're fried on serum, by the way.
The fried on serum.
Developed during the war by PSI to enhance the soldiers' stamina, strength, and capacity to kill. See? 10 times stronger and
There it
crazy
is.
as hell. Yeah. What's the plan? And then the plan is this thing comes and shoots. And then I move my mouse over here and don't let go for the rest of the fight. So for me, this is an auto-scroller. For Quaintt, it's a bit different.
Yeah, so here I am, I'm waiting, trying not to get shot by the PSI soldiers, and Winslow's currently planting 2 bombs, and I have to try and wait for the exact right time to pull it to try and get that as early as possible. Which I think I just did.
Yeah, only
Cool.
2.5 seconds behind. That's very good. We have a very good time on Act 1, so getting a good time there is nice. Skipping cutscenes. The cutscenes are I wish we could show them to you. They're a real treasure.
Yeah. Those are some of the best parts of this game, honestly. In the casual run, that's what keeps you going, is just to see where the plot takes you next.
Those enemies in that tunnel are scripted to die, by the way, so that's fun.
It is time to try the gift my brother gave
We just got a gift from Akahando.
A gift?
A gift. Well, I get just lit up. I'm gonna need a revive because there's a shotgun enemy here.
Alright, gotcha. I'm trying to... Wait, why is my...
Oop, no, I'm still alive. Still alive.
I'm not able to spirit vision.
Okay.
I don't have the gift.
All right. This is very odd. You're not worthy of the gift, I guess. I'm at the gate though. Are you getting warped at least? All right, good.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Oh, wait, no, spirit vision's Z. I don't know why I was hitting shift.
So the gift, Spirit Vision, lets us do 2 very important things. Number 1 is revive downed co-op players. Number 2 is miss this jump twice.
Oh, got the desync.
Oh, hey, so we should talk about the netcode of this game.
So this game is the netcode in this game is programmed poorly, to say the least.
Held together with glue and tape.
Okay, let's hope I don't go down here.
Uh-oh, enemies are accurate. I think I'm probably gonna... Oh, yeah, I got arrow rifled. I am so dead. Yeah, just go.
I can't because I'm really gray, so I'm actually going to spend the time getting my health back to revive you.
Thank you. Alright. So we do have a route for this area, but sometimes the enemies just don't want to cooperate, things don't go as planned. Enemies can spawn, certain enemies have set weapon spawns, some of them have random weapon spawns, and the ones with shotguns are a real threat. They will kill you very quickly.
Yeah, the shotguns are the worst, followed by the snipers,
Yeah.
because the snipers can do like half your health in a single shot, but they have more range.
Yeah. Oh, my mouse is dying. There we go.
Uh-oh.
Okay. I'm picking up nades here because I need them for a later part of the run. Nades they're like mines. You can also detonate them midair or whenever by pressing Q. Love those death screams. So Quaint's a bit ahead of me right now. Sometimes we'll just get ahead of each other because of reasons.
Yeah, variations in the route and that RNG of the enemy spawns really make it it's a little bit like there's some differences that we just have to be some things just change in the route on whim, and we have to be prepared to account for that.
Yeah.
You handle yourself well.
I tried to do the crazy fast route that I got last time, but it didn't quite work out.
Opposite sides.
This is why we hate Zagato, by the way. He's just a terrible person.
Zagato is his character is trying to be like a rich snob kind of character. He's very honor bound, but not, and he's kind of sexist. So
Yeah.
overall not a very pleasant character to
He's-
be one of the heroes of the story.
He's secretly the illegitimate son of the governor of Terra Verte, but we don't know that yet.
Poorly attended.
We also don't know what Terra Verte is. And
Which I mean, yeah, it's Terra Verte, along with many of the other settings, are just kind of here. It's not really established their role in the world or why they're there. They're more just, this is the name of the city that you're running through and shooting people in.
we do know there are real cities, like it name drops New York at one point. So New York
Yeah.
exists. But then you're also in Arrow Tree and Terra Verte. Not Verde, Verte.
Which they may or may not be real things.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, I'm not sure Arrow Tree is... It doesn't sound it.
Remind me to Google that later. See if there's any
No.
real places.
So you see there, I tried to jump, but instead it locked me onto the ladder because you are fighting this game for every action you're trying to take.
Oh, I didn't get the climb there.
Yours.
All right. So there we were calling out who was pulling the lever, because levers in this game, along with many other things, are programmed poorly. And that, combined with the poor netcode we were discussing earlier, leads to some real big complications when two people are trying to pull a lever at the same time. And it can vary depending on the lever, but it could either, at best, waste time because it eats the action and the lever is not, like, considered pulled. And at worst, it will actually soft lock you in the area. And now that lever just doesn't exist.
Yep, which is especially infuriating in one area where you have to pull 3 levers. And we'll talk about the special way that area can soft lock, because it's a bit different when we get there. Legato's talking about the serum, by the way. This is more lore.
Some say Prescott can read a man's mind and return the
My game is chugging along, by the
Yeah,
way.
that was really bad
Yeah.
right there.
Sometimes you just get random FPS drops, no telling why.
Prescott has poisoned the
They seem to be for both players, so it might just be, like, depending on the enemies loaded. I'm not sure. This
It's-
game isn't the best.
No, that is not. We would not be running it if it were a good game.
Fair. That was the hardest speed tech in the run. When a door opens from the bottom, the best way is to stay crouched.
pathetic deranged bastard.
It's a bit infuriating. You want to stay on the ground and maybe shoot those barrels?
Yeah.
Alright, thanks. So here we do split up a bit. We're kind of routing on the fly a lot, depending on who's ahead while we're moving and if someone's lagging.
We will use
Um,
this to our advantage.
Here I use sprint. Oh, I don't. I didn't time my sprint properly. You can skip having to climb up on that. Love that scream. If you have sprint. This area is really iffy. A lot of my ILs in this area end just right here because an enemy doesn't cooperate. Sometimes you just don't grab either.
There are benefits to, like, hitting your shots precisely, because there's, like, headshot multipliers and whatnot. But the game mostly uses, like, weird projectile bullets, like,
Yeah.
even though it's kind of hit scan, and the really low accuracy on every weapon combined with a strange travel time mechanic makes it very hard to hit precise shots at range.
This glitch is very fun. I'm not moving even though I'm pulling the gate, and that actually does save time. It's totally inconsistent. There's no way to get it, like, when you want it. Here, Quaintt can get on the back of this bike, but I'm abandoning him because it's slow to wait for him. And he will get teleported to me.
There I am.
You want to talk about the bikes?
All right, so the bikes are an interesting mechanic that reoccur throughout the game. So throughout the game, there will be driving sections. In these driving sections, you are using one of 2 bikes, either this motorcycle or a motorized tricycle that we will encounter later.
Oh, I hate the trike.
So the bike sections are more or less filler. There's
Yeah.
nothing really used interestingly in these sections. They're kind of just weird platforming areas. The bike has a unique mechanic where it can actually ride on walls. But if you guessed that this mechanic was programmed poorly, you've been seeing the context clues.
You've been listening and watching.
So one problem that we encounter with the bikes is the net code. Once again, very good. And so sometimes when it tries to warp player two might not get warped right. Sometimes like host and off host will see separate things of where the bike is, and that becomes a real problem later on, and I'm sure we'll touch on that when we get there.
That was a gray load, by the way. Loading is handled very differently depending on where the game is. Gray loads, it stops the game for a second while it loads in the next area, and also eats all your inputs, sometimes in very annoying ways.
Here we ram the bike into the wall to... It's faster to get off the bike when it is fully stopped.
Yeah.
As opposed, because you actually can't get off unless it's completely stopped. So we ram it into a wall to reach 0 velocity the fastest.
And that is actually the fastest way. If the bike is moving just at all, you cannot get off of it. This is a really cool skip that Quaintt found. Oh, it moved me off the chain for some reason.
Normally you would have to run all the way around there, but you can just do some precise jumps off the cliff.
Toasty asks, how long is this game normally? Our playthrough was like 7.5, 8 hours. And that's pretty close to what the average is.
Yeah, this, I don't know why I shot that guy, we don't have to.
I have seen such things only in
So here there is a split up of the route slightly. I shoot this because we have to. This is not the order the game wants us to do that in, mind you.
perfect, but we still need bikes.
I'm a little bit behind because I messed
good.
up that jump at the beginning.
It's fine.
But yeah, so there's a few instances in the run where we split up due to co-op. Not a tremendous amount, but just enough.
Yeah.
And that's one of the better ones where you actually do save a fair bit of time over the single player one, just because it's like faster for both players.
So here Quaintt is driving, and we did talk about how there are some risks when off-host is driving. Because my game might not think that he is holding right, and so we might, or it might not think he's holding left, and like slightly course correcting, and so then we just fall off and die. And when you die on the bike, it is different to other kinds of deaths. It's just a hard reload from checkpoint.
Yeah, any normally a player death from either player, like if they bleed out or even if they just fall off a cliff, that player death is immediately like you can just respawn on the other player. But anytime it is a bike section or the game thinks it's a bike section, if a one player dies, it resets from checkpoint. It considers both players as dead, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Because there are sections where you've just briefly touched a bike, and that becomes an issue.
So yeah, if you... Oh, I'm stuck behind the bike.
Oh, I got the fast jump.
Right. So if you, for instance, get off the bike to do a section, but you accidentally get on it in extra time, if you die, you will have to reload from checkpoint. It is infuriating. Because we die a lot in this game, depending on the area. That was a weird angle. Never had that before. You are desynced as heck, by the way.
Let's see if it lets me pull this lever then.
That's a yes. I am not able to get this pipe jump right now. Sometimes it happens. That's a fun skip that normally I get every time. Uh-huh.
It's not letting me pull the final lever.
Alright, well I'm here, so... You are... Oh my god, you are climbing a rope right now.
Oh, that's... Alright, cool.
Majestic enemy AI, indeed. So yeah, we also just run past the final enemy in front of that cable car because they don't matter. Sometimes they matter, then most of the time they don't matter. Sometimes they'll just insta-kill you. This is a boss.
Snipers. Dark Seraph.
This is a really difficult boss. Do you want to explain the route here, Quaintt?
All right, so here we're going to actually have to parkour all the way up to avoid Selena's invincible turret, and then we're going to have to make our way across that rope bridge, avoid the snipers.
Actually, I'm
and,
sorry. We're not doing that. We're just throwing a grenade.
Oh, I forgot you could do that.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah. So there, the goal after all that parkour is to shoot a bunch of barrels and that blows up some turrets and does plot. That takes time. So this is where we give a huge shout out to Sylvanas, the other router for this game, the other runner for this game rather. She did all of the initial routing for this game, and we owe her a huge debt.
Yeah.
Cannot stress enough.
There's a lot of just key skips were found by her.
I need to revive.
All right, yeah, sorry.
Okay.
I got you. I'm just going to spam you through this area.
Yep. This area can be really rough. Sometimes you just get killed. But yeah, Sylvanas routed this, like, before we played it, we watched her run in full to know what to do.
Yeah, so, like, in that area with, like, there's a few instances like that where the game, you could tell the designers tried, like, in that grenade skip for the boss, there's actually an invisible wall that prevents you from shooting or like throwing nades directly.
Yes.
But they didn't make it very high, so you can just lob a nade over it.
Mine.
And there's a few instances like that where it's like they knew something was there, but they didn't quite like fully fix it.
Yeah. There's some other stuff like that in, for instance, the final boss, which we'll talk about when we do it because it's important. And yes, I did die hanging onto a window.
It happens.
It happens. I don't know what to say. You can die anytime.
The keen-eyed observer may have noticed that we took an elevator to go down one story and then get in a gondola. And in normal games, that would be a loading zone in itself. That would be a load gate. You'd spend some time in an elevator, and that might be whatever, or you might get in the gondola. This game tries to do a nice seamless load, but then ultimately you just hiccup in the middle of the gondola ride, and it doesn't matter.
Excuse me?
Okay.
So we are just beefing it right now. This is...
Yeah, that could have gone a little bit smoother.
We were at TF2 jump map, we'd be jump beef.
Jump beef.
Oh, you warped down.
Oh, I got the warp. It was a useless warp, but I got it. And I can't climb up now.
Yeah, so desyncs and warps happen. You don't actually need to desync to warp, you can just warp all the time. Oopsie, that was slow. It's actually useful in a later act, that ability to warp. But not now. I'm doing that for safety.
Oh.
Are you still stuck?
I tried to jump off the rope.
Oh no.
ADS to extend the jump, but I did it too early and got the Spider-Man hang.
Oh god, that. There are too many glitches in this game to narrate, to describe properly. A lot of them look very similar or do the same thing, which is mess with you hard. Here, I did a bunch of fast climbs, which is nice and fast. I skipped some animations by sprint jumping over that rail, and then we're up onto this ladder. That area over there is useless. Game design.
Right, I'm gonna be a little bit behind here.
All good.
But I think it'll warp me when we get to the gray load.
Yeah, which is coming up in a second. So here, there's bait by going off to the right. You don't need it. You're just running off here to the left. And then you're just going down here. You did a split.
Oh, it warped me mid-jump and then killed me. Cool.
So this game doesn't handle itself well, I guess is the way to put it.
Yeah, there are parts that feel like they were designed with single player in mind, and parts
I'm
that
down.
feel
I
like
need
they
to
were...
rest.
Yeah, I got the snipers.
Alright. Thank you.
Yeah, but this game, it hasn't decided if it wants to be a co-op focused game or a single. I'm gonna get the lever.
Yeah.
Single player focused game. And that's there are big examples of that where some things feel like they were like the Spirit Vision, for example, feels solely designed with the intention of reviving the co-op player. but you can use it in single player.
Yeah.
And
Because
if you play the
your
game single
AI
player, you always
allies
have an
die
AI
all the time.
companion.
They die all the time.
Yeah, but then in multiplayer, things like warps and just other mechanics just interfere with everything.
Yeah, it's a pain.
I got the fast climb there.
As did I. So barrels sometimes do weird things.
Didn't get the good jump. But you did, so
Yeah. If you run into certain barrels at an angle, you just kind of warp up them with a weird climb. That was not angle for that. This area is so wonky. See, I grabbed that side of it for some reason. So this is a cool trick. Do you want to explain this while I do it? We're on
so
Spirit Jump.
in this this trick, the captain's going to be doing some precise lineup that'll let him use Spirit Vision, which we described earlier, to
Got it.
Interrupt his momentum and stop on a dime for like just a few frames, and then jump off of the top of the banister that would normally like slide you off, and use that to get on top of a roof, which will bypass a whole combat section.
And that trick is pretty hard. And it so yeah, as Quaintt said, this is another animation. It's another animation messing with you. You can't stand on railings normally, but for whatever reason, and this is another Sylvanas trick, we must thank her once again. For whatever reason, you can activate Spirit Vision and stand on a railing for a brief amount of time, and then cancel your Spirit Vision with a jump. And doing so lets you skip a bunch of annoying combat and stuff. And Spirit Vision is very weird. If I'd held Spirit Vision for longer, you would have seen my screen would have gone blue, but you don't actually have to hold it for long at all, and in fact, it's better just to do it very briefly.
My father signed a treaty with PSI.
We're on the Boomtown sign. We're in Boomtown, by the way. Welcome to Boomtown.
Welcome to Boomtown. This will be our first and only stop to Boomtown.
My audio cut out. I heard nothing you said, but I assume it was very insightful.
It's just, this is the only time we return to Boomtown. we will not see this area again.
Boomtown goes boom, actually. It's,
Spoilers.
so sorry for spoiling the plot.
Awaiting letters of entry. It was a dark chapter in the city's history.
Zagato's talking about his father who governs Terra Verte, except he's the illegitimate son, and so his father does not recognize him. It's more plot. It's very dramatic, actually.
I forgot it doesn't warp me in this area. I'm going to be very far behind.
That's all good. I think I can get a 3. Indeed. Foreshadowing. Yes, the name of the town is Foreshadowing. It's like there's certain graffiti behind Roland in Borderlands 2. Do you know that graffiti, Quaintt?
I do not remember which one you're talking about.
I'll tell you later because I don't want to spoil things.
Alright.
Alright, so here I'm going to throw a grenade at these enemies. Good, got it. And I do one more grenade here, and this is where the levers can soft lock you in a particularly annoying way. Oh, dang it. Didn't kill that one. Okay, so, first lever. So, oftentimes there are two of us up here, and if we pull 2 different levers at the same time, the game soft locks. And you just have to restart the whole area.
And yeah, because these are very critical levers, because the end level trigger is tied directly to the levers. So if you pull 2 of them, it just ignores all of them. And now you cannot finish the level unless you restart checkpoint.
Alright, welcome to Act 3. Lots of skips in Act 3. It's probably the hardest or second hardest area.
Get to the top of the mesa and destroy the guns before they wipe Terra Verte off.
Okay, wait.
I don't know what that was. So here...
I'm frozen, and I touched it first.
Alright, whatever. So normally, Quaintt has to touch this chain first, otherwise he's not allowed to slide down it. For whatever reason, the game didn't let him slide down it anyway. And the reason that is because in single player, there's a cutscene where his character, Zagato, jumps onto the chain first, and then... Okay, I just died there. And then my character Rourke follows him. And in co-op, it's possible for work just to get there first because movement.
Yeah, it's particularly annoying, and I thought we like solved it, but uh okay, well I found another way down that I can use.
Right.
So that's good.
There, you saw me do some weird slides off a thing to avoid dying of fall damage, and I also pulled out my gun very briefly. That's some tech that Quaintt found. You can explain that because it is your discovery, and I am biking.
All right. So we mentioned earlier that animations are a huge part of this game, or at least interrupting existing animations. And so by pulling out your gun, you can force it to do a very specific set of landing animations that are specific to like having your weapon drawn. But normally, if you drop from a high enough distance, you get like what we call like the slow landing, which is like the longest possible landing in which you can't move or gain any momentum until your character is done doing its big superhero landing and then getting up and like starting to like move again. So by aiming down sights midair, we can force certain things to be a little bit faster. It's particularly useful there and a few other places.
Yeah. There's a jump there that I'm avoiding because it's slow. There's going to be a bunch of jumps in areas with a bunch of red rock walls that are going to be very annoying, and I'm going to try to avoid as many of them as possible. We're going to split up a bit, actually, in the upcoming areas. There's some real co-op stuff.
What is the second co-op thing in this, like, 30 minutes into the co-op run?
Do you count me grabbing the sniper rifle and shooting that first enemy?
Okay, the third thing, maybe.
Yeah, so in a lot of ways, as we said, this game is not very suited for co-op. Then in a lot of other ways, co-op is really, really helpful for certain areas. In ways that make the co-op speed run much faster than the 90%. By much, we mean like 5 minutes-ish.
Yeah.
Which is significant, even for like a 2-hour run. Maybe 10 minutes faster.
There are, in this area specifically, in this bike section, there are a bunch of out-of-bounds you can do using the wall running from the bike, but none of them are useful, which is really disheartening, because this is a very linear area.
Yeah.
So even if you do get out of bounds, it doesn't exactly help you get to the end any faster.
There is one minor skip you found, but it's pretty inconsistent.
Yeah. And that, like, yeah, any like actual time saves in this area usually are really hard to execute consistently and ultimately don't save that much time. So when you inevitably mess it up the first try, you've just wasted time.
Winslow said the 100-tonners were the key.
So this is the second big co-op split up. Here I go up the okay, if I can make the jump. I go up this gun turret, this anti-air thing, and I rotate it to shoot at the big rock pillar over there. And Captain, meanwhile, is going to be hopping on the bike that we would be, like, in single player, you would get on after the rock pillar falls, and positioning it as close as possible to the exit, because it's a considerable distance.
Yes.
And so by positioning ourselves right next to it, we can save a fair bit of time.
And here, watch this pillar rise out of the ground as it falls, because magic and animations. They don't expect you to be here to watch how poorly this is done. Also, watch as it pops in another texture. Here I am driving very slowly up the walls because it's going to take away my control for a second. I didn't get it perfect. You can actually just get a little bit of a head start. You notice that I wasn't right up close when it fell, because there is an area, if you're too close, it will just kill you. And there's a giant pillar.
Because there is a bike in this area, if you die if he dies, or in my case, there's a few enemies that might be stragglers. I actually got lit up a little bit at the end there. If any of us die, it's back to like the beginning of that rock face. We have to climb all the way up and rotate the gun again.
Yeah, because again, a bike was touched, even if briefly, and even if I didn't actually do anything with it, you're in bike mode. And that means you die. And those giant artillery will be a recurring semi-puzzle parkour platform annoyance. I don't know. Turn gun, shoot gun, climb up gun.
They they figured, we already coded the gun turning mechanic, so we'll use it a few more times. It'll be fine.
We have this big model. Oh, okay. Any serious time? No,
Very
no
nice.
screams.
Yeah, we got that
Alright,
storm.
This was pretty good, yeah. Going to bike mode. Going to Brazil.
This whole game is Brazil.
This whole game is Brazil. So yeah, you
Is
heard
that
a lot
the
of
one person with a gun in that hole?
Yeah,
tunnel?
I swear. And a pistol too. Straight up. So here, we're avoiding the gravel so that we can maintain speed while we crash into this wall. Which again, fastest way to get off a bike.
Scotto just went 90 degrees sideways for like one frame.
I hate mezcal.
I hate Moscow.
Alright.
Let's not forget it's in a marathon. We're playing the cutscenes.
Yeah, we gotta.
Just
I mean,
has to
just at
happen.
least that cutscene. It's so good. The voice acting. So you've never heard my character speak, by the way, and if we skip the cutscenes, you never will.
Yeah, Rourke has no in-game dialogue. It's all cutscenes for whatever reason.
He doesn't even have pain sounds or like sprint jump noises. There's just
Yeah, he's
no
kinda-
voice acting.
Maybe they just didn't record him. Like,
Yeah.
I don't... Originally, I thought it was like a deliberate choice, but they might have just like not been able to get the voice actor back in or run out of money.
There were money problems. in
Oh yeah, that is
this game's
that is
development.
something.
This game had a bit of a torture development cycle that ended in a lawsuit against the publisher and someone they outsourced some work to.
Yeah, apparently people weren't getting paid, money wasn't being shuffled around, and as tragic as that is, it really does reflect in the game.
Yeah.
But it can't. I don't think it's used to write off everything.
Yeah. Some parts of the game are just like the way they are because it's the game.
Yeah, that was the vision.
So this game actually, we should give a bit of history on the development. It used to be an Unreal Tournament mod
Yeah.
that won a
so-
prize.
Yeah, so there was the Make Something Unreal competition. I don't remember what year. I should probably memorize that for actual commentary.
Yeah.
Damnation was the winner or one of the two winners
Yeah.
that used Unreal Engine to make like a new game using the Unreal development, modding Unreal Tournament. And so some of the mechanics that are prevalent in the final release of Damnation were like, I'm gonna probably go down here.
I have health. I should be fine.
All right. But some of the mechanics, like the climbing, the prevalence of like wall climbing, and the like third person perspective, were created from the original mod. Unfortunately, some things like Yokiken's outfit were also created in the original mod, so it's not all like that's the definitive version.
Yeah. And Yukiken's outfit was worse in the original mod, actually.
Yeah, they actually they made it a little bit more tame, if you can
They
believe
toned
that by
it
looking at
down. It's also less appropriation-y now, somehow.
Slight, yeah, but that might just be because this was made for consoles.
Yeah.
Maybe they just had less polygons to work with.
Yukiken's character. We don't even have to go into that.
Yeah.
I just climbed up through the floor, by the way. This guy is over here. We kill some enemies over here. Don't hurt me anymore. There are enemies down there. There's a barrel we shoot. It kills them all. Saves time. We use this time to reload our guns while this guy speaks about how everyone's dead.
Those who survive, brain fevered. They're no longer human.
While Quaintt dies over and over.
I'm gonna try and hit the super jump or something.
Yeah.
That instantly killed me.
There are a bunch of tricks that we've been able to do just once. Some of them rely on desyncs. Some of them rely on... Who even knows?
Okay, so if you try and roll off that slope, it instantly kills you.
So we talked about the water goddess, and this Terra Verte has a pantheon that is based on. There's like Poseidon is there at one point. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, it has mythology, but it's kind of like a mishmash of existing mythology.
It's not like Aztec,
Uh,
Nahuatl mythology or anything like that. It's not.
Nah, it's more like they had a Poseidon model lying around and figured, yeah, this is a good place to use it. I forgot that kills you. So a lot of the movement in this area is pretty strictly routed because when you're trying to drop there to save time, because ideally, in theory, you should be able to drop all the way down from the top of the statue to the bottom just using some clever movement. I missed the climb?
There we go.
Oh, it's that side.
Yeah, it's
that's
that
why.
side. This is a huge skip, by the way. This saves so much time, and you're just jumping on that. It's a whole area that we skip by jumping on a something.
Small little ledge.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the way this game does falling is if you're in the air for a certain amount of time, a very specific amount of time, it just instantly kills you,
Yeah.
or it'll kill you on landing, and so that really interferes with a lot of the plans that because you would normally be able to survive a lot of those.
All the best laid plans go to ruin. Taking some minor risks and ignoring that enemy, who I think is going to bother Quaintt now.
I've been trying to go for some new stuff this run, and it's not been working out.
We do it depend if you're, for instance, because a lot of this is we're doing the same thing, one of us slightly ahead of the other. If you're behind, sometimes you'll go for like a fun trick that might save a tiny bit of time just for fun. And
It
sometimes it kills you.
revived me when you got on the zip line.
And sometimes the game is weird.
Yeah, that's a new one. I haven't seen that one before.
So coming up, you're going to see the first example of save loading while we're in, or just loading rather while we're already in the game for apparently no reason. And that is because this next area is a pain, and having full health and sprint and this enemy not right here is very nice. So here, there are a bunch of enemies, and there's a turret. So we stand up here for a second. Turret's over there. Throw the grenade that kills the enemy behind the turret, and makes this area actually doable with any kind of speed.
Yeah, so this is another instance of a turret enemy is placed, and you're supposed to parkour around the enemy. But unlike the Selena fight earlier, this turret enemy actually can be killed, and the whole goal is to get behind it so you can shoot behind his shield. But similar to the Selena fight, I guess we could just throw a nade and kind of bypass it. That one's just more tricky because there's a lot like of swarm enemies that come at you, and they can body block you or two hit you or whatever.
There you can see I'm kind of running into this rope and into that wall. For some reason, you just move faster while you're running up against a wall at the right angle. It's pretty tricky to get continuously, and sometimes you just lose speed for trying it. But, you know, may as well.
Yeah, if you vector it just right, sprinting into a wall at a certain angle will be actually a considerable bit faster than just sprinting normally.
Here we learn that Zagato hates dirt, but values honor or something. It's a thing.
I went the wrong way. I forgot there's a second well entrance.
There is a maze, kind of.
Yeah,
Ooh,
it's interesting.
That wolf did a spin. Gray load here. Ignore the enemies. They're wolves. I call them rats a lot by accident, and then just kind of stuck, so I call them rats sometimes.
They're basically rats.
They're basically rats. I mean, come on. They definitely prey at night.
It's true.
And they definitely stalk at night.
Is there a giant one?
There probably is a giant rat that makes all the rules.
I want to know if there's a giant wolf, because there might actually be in this game. I wonder if that's doable.
That's a skip, by the way. That's very fun. It's kind of tight, which can be annoying, but you know. Here's another bike section, because you gotta have a bike section.
You need to have it.
Except we're not going to do it the normal way. I'm going to do a very weird turn. Because that actually saves time, believe it or not.
I want to try this jump, but you touched the bike, so it'll probably...
Yeah, maybe hold off.
I think I found potentially a faster way down for that area.
Okay, good. I think we talked about that last run, actually. I think we both did it, and then I didn't do it.
Well, no, that was a different one. This one is like, if you go to the left there, there's like an actual fence that you can jump over. And I think if you land on the rock geometry, there's like, it's actually higher, so you might be able to survive it.
Here's a bunch of gravel, which is extremely annoying, because then there's not gravel over here. Why is there gravel over there?
Just to, be fun.
I don't know why I did the slow way. This is the actual Selena fight, or the first one, at least. Or the second one? I don't know, it's hard to... Counting, it's very weird. You want to talk about what we're doing here?
Alright, so here's another instance of splitting up on the co-op. So normally, in the casual route for this game, Selena is unloading bullets at Rourke, and you're supposed to kind of basically like pop out, wait for her to like finish shooting her a little bit or get your health back, and then sprint to the next section. Because they put some tricky parkour jumps that would kind of expose you to bullet fire. But in the speedrun, with some actual clever like routing and some clever jumps, you can basically get through the whole thing in one go.
Yeah.
The only thing player 2 is doing here is I'm unloading into her guns for safety. So one thing you can do is you could shoot her guns and it will briefly disable her gunfire. But so it's not necessary, but it does kind of provide Captain with a little bit of safety as he makes his way up the route.
It makes it so I only had to stop behind one pillar there. Optimally, I won't have to stop behind any pillars. It's just her cycles can be very weird when she actually decides she wants to shoot you.
So it is true.
Prescott built his train of death.
It's called Juggernaut.
It's Juggernaut.
Utterly impenetrable. And those guns
Whoopsie.
Oh, I almost got the really fast one.
Dang it. I normally... Oh, no. I mess it up, too. This is Convoy Skip. It's the best skip in the run.
I mashed space a little too early.
So here we line up with that pixel. Drop. Oh, I messed it up. Yeah. Dang it. That's really slow, too. Might take a few attempts.
I didn't get it.
I have the wrong gun out. I got it. Okay, so you hop off some geometry. It's a whole thing. This saves so much time. This saves actual minutes. Over doing this the intended way.
Yeah, so even if we mess it up, it's still better than not.
God, yeah, this might be a gold actually, given how bad our world record split was for this. It's as long as I get this part correctly, which I don't always. Okay, good.
We're good.
So my body hits a trigger there that then loads in this next area. Sometimes, we don't know why, it doesn't work. And when that happens, we're soft locked. But this saves too much time not to try, even with the chance for soft lock. It's such a good trick. Such a good skip. Saves so much time. It might be the biggest.
And that trick was actually a collaborative effort by pretty much everyone in the community, because Sylvanas found the original out of bounds, but me and Captain, while labbing it out, were able to figure out a way to get it working.
Dang it.
I saw that. You hate to see it.
Yeah, you do hate to see it. I got it the second time at least.
Wonder if I can just throw a nade through that window and get the other guy.
Ooh, nice. You did.
That was complete blind fire. I'm happy it worked.
So sometimes when so that enemy was actually probably going to kill me because they were shotgun and aggroed. Sometimes they're not aggroed. Sometimes they're not shotgun. Sometimes they have a machine gun, and when they do, they can actually kill Jack over here through the bars, or kill Zagato through the bars, and that cancels this whole dialogue. Which doesn't save any time, it's just funny.
You wouldn't understand.
You will be surprised at what I
Wow, the music just cut out, and it's very quiet on this ride all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Abandoned one does not justify treason.
Shout out to the composer for this game.
For profit.
You're better than Team 6's composer.
It's true, but they did only really make one track.
Yeah.
There is one theme that will be played continuously throughout the game and on the main menu, and it's okay.
I do prefer it
It's
to
alright.
the wah, wah of the Alpha Xylon desert levels.
True. True.
Alright.
We can talk about how we met.
Yeah, so we met through running another bad game called Alpha Xylon, and that's a treasure. I need to get back into running that one.
Yeah, same.
But yeah, then after running some of that, we just looked for another trash game. Here we are.
We stopped on Soldiers of the Universe first, a propaganda
Forgot
game
about that one.
that I think it's either affiliated with the Turkish government or it's just so propaganda that you kind of wish it was.
It probably is to a certain degree.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a game. I'm not gonna talk too much about that. Besides that we ran it and it was kind of hell, and the controls are even worse than Damnation's. Oh, controls. We can talk about Damnation controls.
Damnation controls are so bad. I'm gonna get super lit up here.
All right,
I might need a rev.
Yep. All right, I'm in Spirit Vision.
All right.
I worked in his labs. He is more
Okay,
dangerous
This
than
is Spirit
anyone imagines.
That did something. I might still need it.
Yep,
But
I'm trained on you.
Ask for Seers to gain knowledge of the future.
So
If
sprint is
Justice
shift,
found one,
and so is interact. So pulling levers, doing anything, that's shift,
Prescott
which is
gets his
infuriating. It is so bad.
just access to his brain.
yeah,
Prescott gets what he
because
wants.
anytime you pull a lever, and then anytime you want to like stop pulling the lever and let's say run the other direction because it's a speed run and we need to get moving, it'll just like snap you back to that same lever, pull it again. You know, it's not ideal.
I got a bad landing. Dang it.
I got the smooth movement. Hopefully I'm not desynced. All right, I got the lever.
Nice. So we skipped that whole area. Just, that's how it is.
Yeah, that one just through jumping over that section, you can skip another one of those whole combat encounters.
This elevator always breaks. Oh, the door is normal.
Oh yeah, it's
'Cause you pulled
if
it.
Zagato
Yeah.
if Zagato is the one to pull the lever, the door actually works on the back
Yeah.
side. But if Rourke's the one to pull the lever, that door like gets stuck at the top and
Yeah.
doesn't move down with the
It'll
elevator.
either be half closed and this bottom panel won't exist, or it'll just be totally gone. And this elevator is so poorly done. Watch as it
so this
moves
is-
up and down. It's so bad.
Ooh.
Floor gone.
Oh.
Door stuck.
Now we go down the slide.
Yeah. He always stays up there for longer for me, just because game sucks. This is a
Alright.
really fun skip.
Let me see if I can get it.
We throw our bodies into the void and hit a trigger, and that loads in the next area and saves us a ton of time.
Very cool.
Found that one by accident, as you do.
Yeah, it's just by jumping off cliffs and then hearing the gong, and you're like, oh, that did something.
Because
Here we can do a
yeah,
quick drop, but you have to be in a very specific spot to do it.
you land on some debris, which saves
I
you from
actually
falling.
forget that's a skip most of the time.
Who wants to do it the intended way?
It's going to Terra
We saved 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, actually, that was we got a lot of golds in that last section. Actually,
Quaintt keeps subsplits. I don't because I'm very lazy.
all right. So this is the interlude section. There are
It's so useless. It is named Interlude. It does not need
so
to exist.
yeah. So there are 6 acts in this game in the level select, and this act is Act 4 Interlude. The majority of this whole section is riding on a trike through some trivial areas, and then we have a boss fight at the end, and that's it.
It does not need to exist. It angers me so much that this area is an area. Oh my word.
And it's not great, partially because it's a trike, and I don't know if we touched on it earlier, but the trike is far worse than the bike because of its it has a larger hitbox on the
Yeah.
side, and it's a lot clunkier to drive.
Handles like a
So
blimp.
it's very easy to accidentally hit any sort of weird bit of geometry and
Yeah.
then lose all of your momentum.
I play on lowest graphics partially because just in case, this game has some weird frame drops, and just in case that might help. And also because it hides some of the shrubs and stuff, which makes it easier to see some of the weird geometry. A lot of it is invisible. But the trike is just awful. I'm avoiding all these jumps because they cost you time effectively. You're in the air. It's not good. Yeah. There's also the level design in an upcoming area is just designed to make you drive off a cliff to your death. It is so abysmally bad.
And if you remember from earlier, any death in a bike section is a restart checkpoint, and the checkpoints are pretty spread apart here, so it's really not ideal. It's like on paper it's easy,
Yeah.
but in practice there's a lot of just simple mistakes that can cost you a lot of time.
There, it actually slows you down on the wall, and in some other areas, it slows you down on the wall because it knows how bad some of the jumps are. But I was boosting, so you couldn't really tell. Because it doesn't want you to be going fast off some jumps because you will overshoot the next area and fall to your death. Screams, very fun. Here, you have to be very careful. That bounce you get will lead to your death a lot. So
Yeah, boosting in this area almost punishes you a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Anytime you boost, you can just like go off a cliff or get a weird bounce or that. What was that?
There we save load because you have to shoot down this head, and it's easier to do it off the bike.
I think you went right.
I boosted by accident, and I'm stuck in the cutscene. Cool.
All right, so this is the part where we quick load and then play the thing.
Game's weird. I wasn't supposed
that
to be
chain
moving.
actually has physics. If you hit the chain, you will stop.
It's very weird. I do try to avoid it. Sometimes you just bounce over it. It's annoying. Here, it's so easy to hit something and lose all of your speed. Quaintt got warped. It happens. There, don't know what that landing was. Haha.
Trike clips the side.
Yep.
Lose speed.
Hey, we have like the largest vehicle in terms of horizontal hitbox. Let's put you in the smallest tunnels in this game.
You know what's more infuriating is that normally, in other sections, when you would be restricted to 2 companions max, it gives you the bike.
Yeah.
But in this section,
Trike.
Or the trike, yeah. So if you have 3 companions, right, even a single player will give you sometimes 2 companions. It gives you the trike because they have to have places to ride. This area, you only have 2 companions. You don't have 3. They just decided to give you the trike.
Here I don't boost because it will kill us. Here I have to now because I lost all my speed.
And finally, it is over. This is the end of the...
Thank God.
They can't be too far ahead.
Hit a wall because, again, that's fast.
I'm going to try and go over here and see what happens.
Alright.
Whoa, I got like a moon jump.
Ooh,
It's
dang.
not faster.
Oh. There are lots of weird jumps because the game tries to lock you onto something that you shouldn't be able to jump to, and so it doesn't know how to handle that, so it just has you do like a super jump. It's a whole thing. Will I mess up this next area like I have in all of our recent runs? I didn't. Hooray.
Nice.
Okay. So here I'm going to sprint jump to the front of the cage because it means you can exit the cage faster. It's a whole thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely whiffed that area and then just started looking for other routes.
That's often what you just end up doing because, if the person in front is already ahead, there's not much reason to keep going for some of these areas. There are times when it's not a great co-op game, and times when it's just an amazing co-op game. Elevators. We're gonna have some more elevators, 2 elevators in Act 6, and
I don't have a pistol.
What?
I just auto-picked one up. I didn't have a third weapon. It was like an empty slot. Like normally if you have 0 ammo for something, it will say like 0 ammo.
Yeah.
That my slot was grayed out.
We're not far now.
So the pistol is the weapon that you always have. You can replace it with a burst pistol, but like you're still always gonna have a pistol. So that's
I spent summers
it's very
Yeah,
odd.
it's particularly strange.
Mountains were like heaven on earth to me.
Okay, I got a fast jump. That's good.
I have missed this easy jump twice.
I do that very, very often. Act 4 is the second shortest act, Interlude. It's only longer than Act 1. And Act 1 has like the least interesting stuff. It has very few tricks, very few ways to save actual time. Besides that weird out of bounds, there's not really much fun in Act 1. Act 4, there's a decent amount of stuff you can do, actually. Like this. That's fun.
Fun.
Fun. I ran off that ledge with sprint to get like a roll, and the roll is as fast as doing an animation canceling, land canceling thing by pulling out your weapon, or even faster, and it moves you forward slightly, so you want to sprint off ledges whenever possible. Okay, coming up to the rest of this area. Donation time. Act 4 is great for donations, by the way. Hey, Marathon people checking this out if we ever submit this.
Plenty of donation time right here.
Yeah.
Valuable real estate could be yours.
That's free real estate. Here you want to have sprint there. I did not because I didn't manage things.
Me neither.
Yeah. Here we do a fun jump, and I get shotgunned.
And I jumped a little bit too far over and hit the pillar. There's a bunch of those where like it's minor, like just being like an inch off will cause you to hit whatever. Just keep going.
Yeah.
I got shotgunned.
This area, there are a couple different routes you can take through it. Actually, we have the fastest one, which is instead of going up that ladder, you actually take the time to climb up this, and there's just a staircase. And that is actually faster than the ladder. Not by too much, but by enough to make a difference. Here's the best dialogue in the game.
Let's see if it warps me, because we won't get it if it doesn't warp me.
There we go.
Oh, immediately.
Have you never been deceived?
Love and hate are
He never responds this whole conversation.
often at the same time. You think of me as a petulant child. I am a woman, a scientist, and a soldier. Do not underestimate me.
One dream of a Jack.
Zagato is wrong. I did not betray my father. I did what I had to do in a world gone mad.
I mean, she objectively did betray her father, if you're wondering about the story.
Yeah, yeah. Just, yeah. Oh, it's over there, isn't it? Oh,
Yeah.
my bad.
That's a really fun jump. You slide down something, but then I mess it up a bit at the end. Here we do like a sprint jump off this.
I think it might be slightly faster.
Oh,
to
whoopsie!
do-
That's a
Yeah,
death.
you can't. You have to.
Yeah.
You have to drop and then sprint jump, but it
Yeah.
is like faster than walking around.
There are many things I could tell you, Rourke. Many terrible things.
Wait, I got a
did
fun
to
landing,
you,
actually.
Prescott.
Excuse me. Oh my god.
Truly am.
I'm getting
Alright.
meleeed.
I hope
I
until
can't
then
aim down sight, which means I can't do this next trick.
Alright, yeah. So there's a very fun route we discovered by abusing how air strafing works. You move
Oh wait, I can ADS
faster,
again.
kind
I'm
of?
gonna go
Okay,
for it.
good. You go for it, I won't. Just in case. One of us goes for this trick, the other doesn't because it's very risky.
Forgot to hold the buttons. Basically, it's a risky trick, but because in 2-player, one person can do the normal route, doesn't waste really any time. But it is kind of difficult, and if I can get it.
Pretty much only saves time if you get it first try, and if you get it second try, you're neutral on time.
Yeah, it's not letting me ADS off of platforms. I can ADS while like hanging, but not while doing it. So it's causing me to not be able to do it at all.
So, aiming down sights while midair and holding strafe lets you gain some height, or some distance rather, while doing certain jumps off ledges. We use that to really break an area later, but there you can skip just a bunch of annoying climbing by doing it. It's just really tough, and it's hard to get consistent. It doesn't save too much time either, so that's why one of us doesn't do it. Here's a boss fight, by the way. Shotguns.
Get excited.
You can shoot those barrels. Yes, it will kill you. This is actually Rourke's wife, lover. It's hard to tell.
I still can't aim down sight.
Oh no. We want to entice her to fall down. It's fast.
I can't throw nades. I can punch her.
It's fine.
All right, not bad.
Yeah, we
Still
lost
ahead.
3 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very good.
I think we. I mean, part of the reason why we lost 3 seconds is because I physically could not shoot during that fight.
Yeah.
So
Sometimes the game just doesn't want to cooperate.
hopefully, I'm gonna try aiming down sight in this next area, and
Yeah.
if it doesn't work, then
It's a bike section anyway, so
okay, yeah, I can aim down sight. We're good.
Good. That roll is annoying. You can shoot the barrels. Oftentimes we use the barrels to get a weird climb, barrel glitch. It has a bunch of different names.
Fast climb.
Yeah. And it's very fun. The game thinks you're... I don't know how it works. I'm gonna be honest.
It's there's certain like the way I think it works is sometimes the game will check to see if there's a any sort of interruption between you and where you're going to be climbing, and that might just be like there's not a wall there. Like it might be something that's like dangling on a different platform, and because of that, sometimes it'll just like warp you straight to the second half of the climb up animation, and not have to like account for anything. And that is particularly is glitchy around barrels because it's a cylinder.
Yeah, it's a
So,
cylinder.
yeah.
You generally do it in the seam between 2 barrels, which confuses the game even more. 2 or 3 barrels even. It only works in certain piles of barrels. You can also just jump onto certain barrels by doing some weird stuff. I'm driving straight through allies and enemies. Quaintt should be warped to me right now, but it's not happening. Weird
I
champ.
don't warp until we're on the bridge, I think.
I'm on the bridge.
There I am. Hello.
Yeah. I'm just holding W in this section, I'm being honest. You can see my inputs. I'll do like a minor course correction here to avoid hitting a wall, but it's mostly just W.
So welcome to Terra Verte.
Welcome to Terra
This is
Verte.
a big city. You can tell it's Terra Verte because of the giant Poseidon statue.
Of course.
It's under siege by the Juggernaut and PSI forces. Why they want Terra Verte, not entirely sure.
World domination, next step.
Something like that. Northern U.S. domination, I guess. I don't know.
Governor Zagato, who is our Zagato's father, doesn't have a first name. He's important, you can tell. He refuses to believe, even now, that he's under attack by Prescott Standard Industries, and the guard at the gate is going to say that he's confused. Could you go talk to him, random stranger? I must stay here and guard the gate.
And you'll notice in this invasion, there's a noticeable lack of civilians. So it's like either they're all dead or kidnapped or something happened, but it should be rather obvious that the attack has gone through and been successful at this point.
We like to twirl around during this time, because what else are we going to do? First name, Governor, no. We have to make sure we don't get on the bike by accident, by sprinting, for instance, because that will mean if we die, you reload from checkpoint. And if the bike is too far forward as well, also. It's a whole thing. Here... Oh no, I missed it.
Yeah, I missed it too.
Here we learn that appeasement is bad, which is true. And here, we move there.
Whoa!
This is actually a very nice skip. That we both messed up.
I don't know what's going on. Things are not going. Maybe I should try and not go for the fastest variation.
Here we just run. We split
There's
up
a
actually.
few routes
because,
here, and I'm not entirely sure which one's the fastest.
Splitting up is good because it does mean that the enemies will get confused a little bit, which is good. You see, I could not turn because Quaintt was on the ladder. Here
Here's
is
a small skip that saves a lot of time.
Yeah, very fun jump that I messed up immediately.
It's actually a lot trickier than it looks. Very easy to mess up.
Normally quite good at this jump, and now I'm messing up a lot. The railing tries to auto-lock you onto it, which makes the jump tough, and I didn't get it, so I am ashamed.
I'm gonna die here.
You are desynced as heck, by the way.
Yeah, I figured.
Oh, okay. I'm very happy that
Alright.
locked me onto a ledge.
I got the good jump. Give me just a sec.
Give me just a sec. The so certain times you'll have like idle lines. It's a whole thing.
On the weak and injured.
Jack really doesn't like the wolf rats.
Follow behind and take out the stragglers.
Yeah, we get a whole monologue from her about the wolf rats. It's something.
Prescott's mainly scavengers.
So we have to take the sewers here. Minor skip that we can do.
Watch yourself.
Very simple, actually.
Yeah, it's a lot of inputs from me. I just reload and sewer's gone. Bye bye. That's it. That's the skip.
Very easy.
Right there.
That's the post. That's the T. Oh, I climb up this for no reason all the time because I forget the route.
That's actually, I think, like the same speed.
Yeah, it's just, you know, why. These enemies lose their AI after we run to a certain point. Right here at this gray load, they get confused. Capo and GDQ when? Weird champ, good question.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, that's a weird route, but it is fast. See, sometimes I move slightly before I climb up. That's because there's a little bit of a cooldown before you can climb up things. So you may as well move slightly while you're doing so. Okay. This area, just moving through Terra Verte. This actually, Terra Verte probably has the most creative design in terms of actual level design. I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, it's this is one of the most like inspired. Like it feels like they actually had like a vision for what this
Yeah,
area
I
wanted
mean,
to
look at
be,
that.
besides just like being brown and like green.
I mean, that's a cool cityscape, you know? This is a very
Yeah.
fun jump. That makes perfect sense, by the way, why that works. Look at that.
Like, does
that's
it
a
realistically
cool...
make sense? No, but like it's neat.
Yeah, and you know, the Poseidon is an odd touch, but, you know, city's cool. Look at us.
Personality.
Yeah, there are mountains in the background. Someone put actual work into making this place look like a place with a unified theme and aesthetic.
The water. It's contaminated. Let's hope Zagato's father is unaffected.
I'm going the wrong way. Haha.
From the fever. PSI's reach is far.
Speaking of unified aesthetic, I get confused a lot in this area on the route. The aesthetic is not good for my brain.
Yeah, you know, like I guess the art direction here is good, but the only reason we can point it out is because it's so lacking everywhere else that
Yeah.
any little bit sticks out.
No firearms within city limits, by the way. Just so you know, so everyone,
You are
you're all
you are
breaking
a
the
bit
wall.
ahead of me.
Yeah, it's sometimes this happens. Look at the colors in this room. I mean, this is kind of nice, you know, compared to the rest of the game.
I tried.
Yeah, that's right.
Gold star.
You're always. Oh, I didn't actually get locked on the ledge. Fun. Jump to that girder. This was confusing. The first time we did this area, we did not know where to go. Here,
Wonder
if
if
you
there's a way to avoid that like landing stagger after getting warped.
there you saw I moved slightly farther along the ledge, just because if you climb up too fast, you get stuck inside a wall. There, I forgot the route for a second. Never done that before, actually. Never forgotten the route. Never. Nope. Here's Agato's
Yep.
dad. He's dead. Goodbye.
Later, dude.
Goodbye, governor. You'll be replaced by your son, because that's how being a governor works.
All right,
Wait,
I'll move this one.
Okay, yeah, I'll pull. So, this is a puzzle. You have to move these two statues on the side over here, so that when it hits this, it hits both those statues and hits the wheels, and turns them, and it's a very cool water puzzle, but it turns out...
Help me, Rourke.
Help me, Rourke, by the way.
Find it.
I just want to keep my camera trained on this. Instead of moving those statues in front of the wheels to turn them as water would when it hits a water wheel,
We can hit it like that.
from the sides, because that's how water wheels work.
Yes.
Come on.
QA testing who?
And, I mean, come on. You really should have tested that. Just water hits wheel, good.
Like, look, some of the other stuff in the run, perfect. Like, you can't expect them to find every single crazy out of bounds. But
The spirit vision jumps, we understand that, that's
there are 2 puzzles in this game. 2. That one and a one that will be coming up very with the same mechanics. And they didn't think to test that part. Very interesting.
Very interesting. In this next area, so those statues that you move, you can sometimes push them off ledges, and they will float forever. Also, should have tested that, maybe? I don't know.
Oh, you know what I love?
What?
This very long elevator ride.
Yeah.
That immediately is followed by, like, a great load.
We skip it slightly by doing that. Lots of wolves. Can't believe he just died. Yeah. Rest in peace, Governor Sagato. You will be missed. That was the one time you were in the run. That's a very fun skip that we miss all the time.
It's surprisingly difficult, for no reason.
Yeah, it's just a weird angle for a jump, and the game doesn't like it, so it tries not to lock you on.
I think it's like, well, because the way the jumping and parkour mechanics work in this game is they lock you to a set, like, destination the moment you're pressing the jump button. And it just calculates it out as some math, right? But it doesn't always work perfectly. And in that case, it'll just lock you to a line that intersects with the pillar. And so you hit the pillar and you bounce off into the abyss.
There I fell through the floor because you're locked onto that ledge, and the game knows you have to get to that ledge, and it knows what kind of animation it has to do, so floor stops existing. It did the math, it knew I have to go to that ledge, so ignore everything else and move my body through the ground.
Sometimes the math works in our favor, sometimes it doesn't. And it's just a matter of finding the very precise way to get the game to do what we want.
Skipped a whole bunch of parkour by just jumping onto this rail, by the way. Or this pipe. This whole thing. More sewer. All the sewers are just the same assets, so they look exactly the same. Same enemies doing the same, missing you with melee because they don't know how to make melee enemies do anything.
Unless you get body blocked, in which case you just instantly die.
And I get warped there because reasons. This is, you want to talk about what this ladder is?
So this ladder is it's an anomaly. Remember how, like, so there's a lot of theories to, like, why put such big elements into your game that take time but don't necessarily help load anything. And I've come to the conclusion that this might just be padding. There are a lot of lengthy elevators, a lot of lengthy gondolas, and this is a particularly egregious one, where it's just kind of here, and you just have to deal with it. And I think they really wanted to meet that 8-hour casual playthrough mark.
Or they were just big Metal Gear fans.
Oh, that might be it. I wonder, you know, if Urbanski played MGS3, that'd be nuts.
We don't want to get too much into the lore of who worked on this game and what they have done since then, but it's real estate.
Let's just say Michael Urbanski hadn't had any real previous game making experience, and then jumped on this project as the lead writer, producer, and director.
And you know what? In a lot of ways, I'm impressed because game development is very difficult, and your first game. This is good for a first game. I mean,
for a first game, this is really good.
My first game sucked. It was made in processing, and it was like some blob detection thing.
Shoutouts processing.
Shoutouts processing.
Okay, so this is the 4th or 5th biggest, like, only real major co-op thing in the run.
Yeah, can't skip that, by the way.
So here, the single player route for this is very tedious,
it's
very not fun, requires AI manipulation and stealth, and just difficult, like, combat. But for co-op, I can hold the Spirit Vision button and mash my E key, and Captain can just run to the end.
Hey, look at that.
Look at the speed.
So yeah, normally when I do this, I have to kill a bunch of enemies, hide in that room, hide behind this thing, snipe a bunch of enemies. I have a pretty good route for solo. It's still so much slower than this. This is so fast. This saves 2 minutes, a minute and a half. It's something absurd. It's
I mean,
actually
maybe more
insane.
than that if you don't, if like, because that's if you don't die.
Yeah.
There's if you screw up and die in single player, you go back to the beginning of the section. You have to do it again.
Okay, and then I run over here.
Maybe if we adjusted the single player route to like stock up like on nades specifically for this area.
I mean, I usually have 4 nades when I'm in this area, and
Oh, really?
it's still just so awful. I'm gonna go down again, maybe. Nope, made it. Okay.
All right.
This next area is an area. It's an auto scroller, basically.
Yeah. It is one of the only mandatory combat sections. When I've been using the term combat section before, I'm usually referring to there's a big room that's more or less an arena, and we have to more or less run through it or shoot enemies to avoid dying.
Oh no. Okay.
I got
Normally,
it.
Yeah, normally I kill this guy immediately, but I didn't have my shotgun loaded, and so now I'm really off my cycle of where I should be. I'm normally down here already, fighting some enemies that are down here. And so
One guy got past me. I don't know where he is.
Alright, it's fine, we'll deal with it. So we split up here to deal with a bunch of different enemies that are coming from different places. Shotgun is killer for this area. I sometimes go down because they're coming from all around me.
Alright, my section's done. My route for this area is a little bit different, but far easier. I stand in a very specific place, grab a rocket launcher, and then spawn camp like 6 enemies in a row.
And then here there's like 1 or 2 more enemies that come in and are annoying, and we have to kill them.
Do they have a set spawn?
It's hard to tell. And we just have to hunt until we find them.
One's down.
Yep, alright. We got things.
Selena's in.
Yep, Killer Rourke dialogue. Now we headshot this enemy 5 times. She has 3,000 health. A sniper rifle does 600 damage. It might actually be more than.
I think it's 6.
Oh, there we go.
More or less.
Nice.
Problem is, the sniper has 3 shots in it, man.
Yeah.
So, and the reload's kind of lengthy, so you want to alternate it, but not miss shots, because you kind of need 6 exact headshots.
Yeah, and when you shoot her, her head goes back for a second, so shooting her at the same time can be rough. Here, there's the fun warp you can do sometimes, except I didn't get it.
We actually
I got
a
it.
split on that. That
Nice.
Selena.
Yeah, it was a bit rough in the beginning, but the actual kill was very good on Selena. There, I warped by climbing up on a corner. It's a thing. Or actually move this way on there to get a better part of this. If you can grab that pipe at the end, it does save a bit of time.
So here we are splitting up. This is the second puzzle, or the second and final puzzle section in this game.
Yeah.
Where you have to position the water spouts, the redirect things, to angle water to hit 2 different big piston targets, more or less. And we are able to, through like one kind of big skip, are able to do this fully asynchronously, which does save a fair bit of time.
Yeah. So once, and only once, we were able to get a huge skip that saved an absurd amount of time. So as Quaintt said, there are 2 piston water wheel things that we have to hit with water. Once and only once we were able to activate only the second and just skip the rest of the area that way. Never been able to replicate it. Never. It's so sad. And we have spent a lot of time trying. That would be so huge, especially for single player, because single player doing this is obviously going to be much slower than being able to divide up the work. Quaintt does a really cool jump to access an area before he's supposed to be able to.
Yeah, actually, so we mentioned earlier that okay, let's see if it's gonna resync me. Come on. Come on. Let me grab it. Okay, and there we go. All right. So that normally player 2 has to wait for player 1 to extend that first piston before being able to even make progress on climbing to where I am now. And even then it's a lengthy climb. But through using the aim down sight and midair thing to extend the jump distance and also to end up landing while facing a certain direction, it allows player 2 to
That was a huge gold.
yeah. But it allows player 2 to get there much faster and climb on a surface that you shouldn't be able to land on.
Yeah. That was a huge time save, by the way. We're in really good pace right now. This might be world record.
Yeah, we're almost 4 minutes ahead, I think.
Yeah. We were running on the Juggernaut, by the way, because lore.
How did we get on the Juggernaut? How did I don't actually know.
Yeah, it's been a long time since we watched the cutscenes for this game.
I think I remember during the casual playthrough, which is the only time we really watched like that specific cutscene. There was like you ramp your bikes onto it, and it seemed like they were trying to. I messed that up. It seemed like they were trying to. Step twice. Come on. Come on. Okay. There we go.
Oh, I might die.
All right, I might be able to do this.
Yeah, just go.
Oh
That's the wrong boiler.
No, it's the right boiler. I just I jumped too early.
Oh, really? Oh, then I jumped down here for no reason. Oops. Sometimes I get confused about this route.
It's not letting me wall jump.
Are you
Am
sure
I
you're on the right
desynced?
boiler?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why you're jumping on that one.
I don't know either. I'm getting instant
Yeah,
kill.
it's this one. I
Okay.
had to revive you or something to resync so I could wall jump.
Weird. Act 6 is sloppy at times in our execution and in the programming. I forget the route here a lot. It's a personal failing of mine on this run. This is the one act I've not done an IL of.
This is the only act I've done an IL of.
Yeah, isn't it your favorite act?
I think it's just because I routed it. I like it's
I see
snowy.
a black screen. I don't know about you. Oh,
It
my
says
game
you
crashed.
paused.
Game crashed. Game crashed.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna quit out and restart.
So real time, this might no longer be world record. But in game time, it still can.
It might still be world record because I think we crashed before in our world record. It was just earlier in the run, I think.
Yeah.
Probably looking at the splits in between Boomtown and Mesa Dorado, because there's a big jump there.
Yeah. We definitely it was on Act 3. Remember where exactly.
All right, connecting.
Yep. Okay. Good. Music or no?
No music.
Good.
Seems like an actual load.
This game is fraught with perils. There we go.
Yeah, the game is prone to crashing, to just not working. There's a big potential. Like the reason why when
Are you running or am I?
anyone crashes,
Are you running or am I?
I'm running.
Okay.
Oh wait, no. Yeah, I'll run. You can cover.
Go on. Sorry, we had to figure out something for routing.
Yeah, hold on. Let me.
There's no in-game timer. We have to manually remove the loads. Okay.
I'm in.
So we do that very carefully because it's a bike and dying on the bike means hard load.
I actually think it's better off host does that because I think the lag and like desync helps a lot in that area.
All right.
So I think from now on I should be running because I noticed like when we were doing it with you running,
Yeah.
I don't even think it was your fault. I think it was just like the enemies target you more or like
Yeah.
the shots connect more.
That is true.
There was a whole like once I got on the bike, the game like
Hold
couldn't
space.
figure out how to hit me.
Hold space. Remember.
Oh yeah, you're right. I just wanted to make sure I nailed that.
Yeah.
zone.
Yeah. So you saw I stopped on the roof briefly and picked up a different weapon. I dropped my trusty sniper rifle that I have been using all game. Goodbye, sniper rifle. It's no longer needed. I picked up the arrow rifle, which is a grenade launcher, kind of. It's an RPG, maybe. It's very weird.
It shoots rockets, but they have aggressive bullet drop like it's an aid launcher.
Yeah. And we need those for the last bit of the game, the very, very last section of the game. Because it allows us to do a pretty huge skip, one of the biggest in the run, probably the last very... there are two large skips remaining in Act 6. One of them involves an out of bounds, and the other involves just a huge skip, a sequence break in the scripted area. Both are very fun. Both we were so happy to discover. I remember when we were recording of us live first time doing the thing with the arrow rifle.
Oh yeah.
And we were just, oh my god, because it saves so much time. Before we found a skip involving the arrow rifle, we were trying a bunch of stuff involving bouncing off each other's heads to bypass an area.
I forgot.
Yeah.
About that.
Yeah, and that was really, really rough. It was so inconsistent, and it took more time to set up than it saved. To stop teasing what it is, there's a boss fight. Alright.
The final boss.
The final boss. The very final boss. And he has 3 stages. And by abusing a certain property of the arrow rifle, namely it is an explosive, we can skip both of the first stages and just skip right to the final stage of the boss. And what that looks like is going to look like us shooting a wall. It's a very special wall, though. And there's a thing in that wall we need to hit. It skips a bunch of combat and parkour. 2 Horsemen of the Apocalypse of this game. Both of which are slow. Mine.
Alright. I'll get the inside one.
Yep. You notice I'm a bit careful about where I stand when I'm running into this elevator. If you're too close, you'll get left behind.
Yeah, there is a special 1-inch seam that you can stand on near the door, and it'll just leave you the elevator floor won't carry you up. You will just perfectly stand at the bottom, and that actually can be a problem because the elevators don't always warp you.
Yeah, and
Then you're just stuck.
This is game design right here. We took this elevator. You know what's waiting for us? Can you guess what's waiting for us?
Place your bets.
Place your bets.
Oh, a little bit of a hallway, a little bit of a walk up.
Nice hallway.
Big reveal.
Wow. An
Elevator number 2.
elevator. This makes me so angry. It makes me so
livid.
Corrupted monk type skip, yeah. A bunch of elevators, though, you can, once you see that blue gear, which only host can see, I reload, and it skips the elevator.
I thought I could squeeze past him.
That's
Here's
a
a
very
small
fun
jump
yep.
that I missed.
I landed it. The viewers will see. Here you can see I was moving so much faster because I was running at the right angle against that wall. We always forget that we should be doing that. I hate that warp. I hate that. Here's your Keegan's opinions on reformism.
Could accomplish so much with someone else in charge.
Yeah. There's gonna be a lot of downtime in Act 6. It's where our commentary often slows down.
Yeah, we need to pace our commentary more so that way it
I think actually
can spread across Act 6 because Act 6 is so lengthy.
We've done pretty well so far, I think. Actually, there's still a fair amount... Oh, dang it. This girder is weird. There's still a fair amount we can talk about, especially with the plot, which we have not actually really covered much at all.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
in this case, this area, actually, that might work well thematically because this area is kind of a lore dump.
Yeah.
So in here, in the Mesa, what is the area? New America.
New America.
So,
Damnation.
In Damnation, aka New America.
And by the way, Damnation, awful apocalyptic America steampunk land, is called the Damnation. In case you were wondering. Grab the arrow.
I grabbed the later one.
All right.
Do you have one already?
Yeah.
Oh, then I should have grabbed that one. Oh well.
I get mine on the roof.
I thought I could. I thought I had a nade. I did not have a nade.
You seem safe anyway, so you're good.
I'm super gray.
Alright, well, I'm behind you and I'm full. This area
Oh,
is...
where did I jump?
I do not know. This area is very risky. We get shot a lot. There's some strats that we have for that area, but it's all just really weird.
Yeah. So, in New America, PSI is, well. So we mentioned earlier, maybe it wasn't this one. This game takes place in a sort of like directly following the Civil War, but in an alternate history.
Yeah.
And in the alternate history, there were no winners. The winner was PSI. PSI funded both sides and then somehow got them to stop, or they maybe through force, maybe through something else.
Yeah, he took over. I think at one point in the lore it's implied the Union kind of won, but PSI still is. It's very weird.
Remember to use the.
Yeah. Quaintt's running against that railing, but faster. You got the Those barrels will kill us. So
yeah,
Quaintt
they are
gets a
insta kill, so that's why we just clear out the area. But yeah, so basically PSI has coerced both sides, so there are no winners, just PSI. Now PSI is trying to bring back an industrial revolution style of working, in which everyone kind of works in factories and you work for the big company.
I'm going for it.
And you make serum and you consume the serum to work harder and stronger and
Got it.
Very nice. I got a head bounce.
The Fever. Great song.
What if I can do this? Oh wait, it's way high up. All right, never mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's feeding serum through any means necessary. That might be. He encourages people who work for him to consume serum like normally,
And he also
then-
poisons the water supply, which
yeah.
Zagato
So if that
commented on
didn't
earlier.
work, he also puts it in the water supply. He puts it in the food. Like I think it's in the potted meats.
PSI potted meats.
Mm.
There are some recorded PSA messages that we have heard a lot of.
Yeah, I
and-
think I guess the best way to describe that is so one way to encourage workers through no matter where, because there's a lot of what's just happened to that.
Do you want to stop for a second while I do this skip? Because
Sure.
this
Yeah,
is very odd. There's a thing over here. We sprint. Oh, that's not the way to go, Rourke. You fool. It locked me onto the wrong thing. Sprint jump. And then... Dang it. Here, land there and slide down on something invisible. It's normally a different angle. I've been getting that angle a lot recently. I don't know why. So then, it's not done yet. We're out of bounds, basically. I don't know why this area exists. You can see it's not made a normal way. Then you run along this line, along these stairs. And this is when it gets really weird. We're not entirely sure why this happens. I have my theories. But I run along this, and then jump into the elevator.
Sisters, do you
And you see it unloads the area, and then here... Oh,
I think we got a co-player dead.
but it doesn't matter.
we must find
Oh, cool. Perfect.
And then it warps us to the next area,
they have done to him.
which is
Yes.
huge. That area is so weird.
These poor, pitiful
I always go the wrong way in this area.
cruel imagination knows no bounds.
But yeah, so that skip was collaborative. Slovanus found a first out of bounds there, I believe, and then through a bunch of trial and error, found a way to slide down and get back. And then I was messing around after that, and then that weird elevator thing. Still not sure how it works. Before, remember in Act 3, we jumped into a void and it loaded in the next area. And that happens here too, except it loads in the next area well after you hit the trigger. So you saw an area behind me get deloaded. Are
Okay,
you
don't
in the
climb too early. You'll
Yeah,
walk
you're
back
in the
into building.
wall. Okay, that's fun. You are in that wall.
No, I clipped through the wall. I'm back in the other side
Oh.
of the building.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
Here you can actually jump onto the rope early, but I'm avoiding that because Quaintt is not with me, just in case.
You can do it but I don't know if you know.
Oh, I'm down. Yeah, I need to rest. I
Okay,
killed myself on a
I
barrel.
need to get off the wall. I can't review because I'm on the wall.
Yeah.
This is not great.
Yeah, this area is really rough. Normally, Quaintt is ahead of me here. He's usually better at this area. He is better at this area than I am. I mess it up a lot. And this, you can see there are a bunch of enemies over here. I'm gonna be down again. You should just probably.
Okay, yeah, I'll just spam you.
Yeah. I'm getting spawn camped.
I got you. I don't think it warps me all the way until the potted meats, so
yeah.
I can just spam you the whole time.
All right, I'm on the ladder. Good. Okay.
Okay, warp me.
Good. That was a bit rough. This area can be weird.
Yeah, normally we're actually in sync there.
Yeah.
But that time supposedly, I don't know. That was just really weird. I'm ahead. I'm good.
Okay, yeah, you just go. Yeah, this area is odd. We're still on a pace. We're on a good pace. All right. I got staggered on the
flavors of potted meats.
Yeah, Prescott potted meats. Is the exact voice line. So yes, so Prescott takes over. By the way, back to lore. Prescott takes over.
I just want to point out something I just now noticed about the potted meats dialogue. He says, "A delicious way for the new American to start to start and end the workday every day." He wants you to eat your potted meats for breakfast and dinner consistently. Eat your Prescott potted meats.
I just found a new route there, by the way. That saves time. You can roll onto a piece of onto like a metal box, and if you're sprinting off of it, you get a roll off of it.
All right, sick.
This area we've spent a lot of time trying to find a skip through this annoying parkour.
Yeah, this they really wanted you to do this the intended route.
Yours.
All
right. So Prescott takes over America, calls it New America because he's very creative. It's also called the Sovereignty. It's very weird. There's a bunch of different names. America is at this point split up into a bunch of different fiefdoms that are all fighting or whatever. My character, Captain Hamilton Rourke, was a member of the Coalition, which is probably an anti-Prescott coalition. It's hard to tell.
Remember, you can shift it up from the bottom one.
Oh yeah, you can. Right. Not if you're over there. You can't. Those are called Automen. These robots, they're auto. I need a res. Wow, I am dead up here.
I got you. I think.
Thank you. That was very weird.
I couldn't actually tell if I got you because it was like super wild.
So Prescott takes over New America. My character, Hamilton Rourke, is a member of the Coalition. He's apparently infamous for being very, very bad at leading soldiers. Everyone in his unit died, and Zagato comments on this, and they have a fight. And then Rourke says, "I hate mezcal." And then there's a sniper. The cutscenes in this game are so wild. I wish we could watch them in a run.
Here's the bridge.
Yes, the bridge. So Rourke led a bunch of soldiers to his death. Professor Winslow over there helped design the auto. He's not over here anymore. I don't want to say it over there. He was in the first act, then he got captured, then we rescued him, and you saw none of it. He designed the Automen. His history is also shrouded. His daughter Jack was taken in by Prescott and Prescott's lieutenant or general Selina. They're implied to have had a relationship, and then Selina leaves Jack for dead, and Jack betrays you, but she's actually helping you. Lots of twists. Cool plot. Trying to summarize the entire plot of Damnation in like a minute is impossible because the game tries its hardest not to tell you the plot.
I mean, you did a pretty good job there.
Thank you. So now we're in PSI City, which I think is in Canada. I'm pretty sure. I think there was some lore of that, but I haven't been able to find it ever again. So this might be headcanon for Damnation. Another barrel warp. I got shotgunned midair. getting air
Oh,
shots.
I did too.
Yeah. These guys landing
Hit
their
me
air
twice.
shots. They should start a frag movie or something.
Insane. He's insane, dude.
And then we're here. Hey, look, another of this model that they made. And are going
I
to
mean,
use.
I'll give him props. It's like mass-produced big gun, so it kind of makes sense in the world as opposed to like other things. But like, why is it here in the middle of their city? You know, I forgot that you can't do fast roll off of that.
There we land on a light fixture, and it saves a bit of time. It skips a bunch of running to places.
All right, you can get levers.
Yep, so here we turn this gun around, and we're going to fire it, and there will be a cutscene. It's going to be a bit tight, actually, for world record. Got 9 minutes left.
Yeah, we lost some time on the on that like last bit.
Yeah. Okay, cutscene. Sorry, I did it the wrong time. You have to use escape to skip some things, my lever, and space to skip others. And it's inconsistent, and doing it at the wrong time pauses the game. When the host pauses the game, it's paused for everyone.
When off host can pause the game for everyone, but it's like a separate key. It's like not by pulling up the menu, it's by pressing like the pause key.
Yeah. More elevators, because this area is
a
all
long
elevators.
elevator.
Yes, it's fast elevator too, thankfully, but still so long. Alright. And no door to the elevator either. And these textures, wow. In a bunch of elevators, you've seen me look at Rorik's lips. On low character graphics, there's just a space between his lips. Are you gonna go for the jump?
No, you can go for it.
I'm not going for it.
Alright, safety.
There's a jump there.
That's how you know we're going for world record.
Yeah. There's a jump there that saves like a second, maybe. It's just super risky.
It saves you a second or loses you a second.
Yeah.
And it's very inconsistent. I hit it once every 20 times.
And this is a 2-hour run, and so a second is
Every second counts.
That is true. Every second does count.
Designed only to feed a madman's ego. Prescott's ambition is matched only by his arrogance.
Yakikin just talking away here. So hey, Quaintt, why are we in this tower, by the way?
Oh, okay. So we are going to good question. So we came to the city specifically to come to this tower because Yokikin's brother, who is a seer, who gave us the gift, the brother has been kidnapped by Prescott, and Prescott is keeping him at the top of the tower. Now, what does Prescott? Why did Prescott kidnap the seer? Well, he has a fun machine where he plugs an HDMI port, like an HDMI cable, right into the brain of Akahando, the seer, and he can plug that into his projector, and the projector will project what the seer is seeing. And in that case, right, seer can see the future. Picture it like a crystal ball, but in this case, it's a crystal projector coming out of his brain. And we are running to Prescott to try and save Akahando before Prescott can see the future of what stocks he needs to buy.
Yeah, we don't want him to manipulate the economy. He already rules the whole country.
Yeah, he's like, well, I've already monopolized almost every industry, including food and oil
and steam
machinery and weaponry. So what can I do next? Well, I mean, I could look at the future and see what I would need to account for, and like put more into that. But I believe he just foresees his own death.
Yeah, he
wild.
foresees. It's actually very fun. It's a bit of fun game design. The projector shows what you have to do to kill the boss, which is kind of cool.
It shows a tutorial. So during the final boss fight, which you won't get to see it because we will be going too fast.
We skipped 2 stages of the 3.
Yeah, they're on the clouds because the projector gets knocked over. It projects basically a game FAQs tutorial of how to beat the boss, which is kind of really funny.
All right, I'm on the ladders. I don't know if you want to do reses or running.
I can do res. I'm like not that far behind you, but I can do it.
All right. So I'm probably gonna need to res, yeah. Depending on the enemy AI here, you sometimes need to be revived, sometimes you don't. This is a bunch of parkour and enemies that have guns. Their gun spawns are random. Depending on what they are, you can get through this rope up here easily or with some annoyance. Them having these grenade launchers, the arrow rifles, is actually very good because they can't hit me while I'm climbing it. And now we're coming up to the boss. There we go. It doesn't establish a solid canon, Toasty, on how seeing the future will affect the future. It's very odd.
Hardest lever in the game?
Hardest lever in the game, yeah.
Easy.
Easy first try. That lever, you have no idea how annoying that one lever is. Oh my word. It is so bad. You have to be perfectly lined up, and if you aren't, it won't let you pull it. And we've lost like 15 seconds there before. It's never revealed what kind of time travel it is. You can kind of see the gap in Rourke's lips again, and also his hat. That's a low character model detail for you. Okay, so here's the skip. We're going to skip the first 2 stages of the boss in about 5 seconds. Here we go.
I don't know which one hit and which one didn't, so we'll fire again.
There we go.
There we go.
Alright, there go the first 2 stages of the boss, all done. We're going to lose a little bit of time, but it's still going to be a world record.
Oh, I forgot I needed to switch I need to keep my shotgun for this fight.
I still have a shotgun, so I'm still good. This is playing dialogue during this cutscene, because the game gets very confused. So, on the splits we're losing time because we got a crash, but realistically we're actually better than where we are. So you can see the projector up there. It's not actually supposed to be playing right now. Here's Prescott. He's been fevered. He's injected himself with the serum that makes you 10 times stronger and crazy as hell. We don't always know where he's going to go.
He likes to go up to that tower.
Yeah. And then wait up there an annoying amount.
He's just going to stay up there, I guess?
And time.
All right.
That's what record.
I got 151.52.
Same here.
All right, sick.
So yeah, that boss can be a bit faster. His RNG is really annoying. But regardless, we skipped the first 2 stages, as you saw. Here's the ending cinematic with inspiring messages. Had the gods abandoned us? Alt history stuff. You see the cast of characters on this blimp, which has a name. Don't remember what it is. There's the sovereignty, as you can see, another name for the damnation. Thank you, Toasty. Freedom is the reward of those who live in the present, for only they can know peace. We didn't even touch on like Jack's whole character. There's so much stuff to dig into.
I think what we gotta do is like find the best way to spread the narrative across the whole thing. Because like trying to condense it to the end while humorous, like
that's so hard to follow.
Fun fact: if you wait through the whole credits, off host just crashes. The game just freezes,
and you can't skip the credits. It's impossible. I'm pressing buttons on my keyboard. Nothing. But yeah, that's Damnation.
That's it.
We hope you will come watch it again at some point. I'm gonna stop the recording now.